So I'm interested in shifting a little bit to the automotive industry in particular, and it seems like it's in such transition right now with
I love it.
right?
It's a huge opportunity.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
electrification and subscription models and new OEMs entering the ecosystem and increasing complexity of the vehicles themselves with the digital components. So much transition. How do you lead that portion of your business with this kind of a marketplace?
Partners, people, product. Got the best partner in the world with Toyota. They have the fortress balance sheet and the wherewithal and the long-term vision to be able to play this multi-pathway strategy that they've been on, whereas the domestics have essentially said we are going to skip straight to BEV. Unfortunately, we have a government that is picking winners and losers and wanting to force a BEV solution. And I'm not opposed to BEV in any way, shape, or form. I just think that, one, the marketplace should determine who wins, and two, it's a naive approach to a very long-term transformation that has a host of other viable options. First and foremost, you've got hybrid, where much less dependence upon the battery and the minerals because the battery is smaller, and yet if you can get 50 miles to the gallon, you produce much less carbon, and carbon is the enemy. We're focused on a powertrain, and the issue is carbon reduction. And so if you can get 50 miles to the gallon in a clean burning engine, the carbon emission and the footprint of building that vehicle is so much more efficient than the average age of a vehicle on the road today. In the US is the oldest it's ever been. It's 12.5 years. So most of those 12.5-year-old average vehicles are probably getting about 15 miles to the gallon. So just think about the lift that you get by going hybrid. If you then go plug-in hybrid, again, a little bigger battery, a little more mineral consumption, but still incredibly efficient. My daughter-in-law is a school teacher with a 2-year-old. Her commute is, I think, about 20 miles. The RAV4 Prime that she drives, she plugs in every night, is less than, it's got a 45-mile range, and she basically uses the battery all the time. I have to remind her, exercise the engine every now and again. But if she wants to go to Orlando, she's got almost 400 miles of gasoline range on that plug-in hybrid. BEV is clearly going to evolve. We still have a chemistry issue that everybody's trying to solve with density and charging speed and mineral consumption and weight and infrastructure, and it will get there. And Toyota has been dogmatically saying, we believe that solid state will be scalable by 2030, and they're trying to bring that in. If we get to solid state, then you get the density issue, you get the recharge time, you make huge progress, and they're on a path where they're going to do that. They're spending $14 billion in North Carolina to manufacture their own batteries here in the US for both plug-ins as well as full battery electric. And they still very much are all in on hydrogen in that multi-pathway approach. They are producing fuel cells that PACCAR and Peterbilt will begin to incorporate into their over-the-road trucks. Part of the challenge with BEVs is the weight of the batteries, and most people don't consider that. I always chuckle when you hear all the press about Tesla doing this over-the-road truck with Pepsi, because the weight of the battery is heavier than many of the bridges can actually handle. So I would just submit that I think they're going to haul Frito-Lay, not Pepsi itself, because if you put load on top of a heavy battery, you've got a real issue. So I think that multi-pathway, we need to get our infrastructure right, and think about it, 12 and a half years. The park in the U.S. is actually the same, the park meaning the number of vehicles that are in service is essentially 1-to-1, which is pretty amazing when you consider all the kids that aren't driving age yet. So, we've got plenty of vehicles. It will take a long period of time, and hence that multi-pathway approach that I think Toyota is professing, and they've got the wherewithal to do that. There's also, continuing work being done on hydrogen combustion. Akio Toyoda is a race car driver when he's not the chairman. If you want to see his eyes light up, and when he talks about combustible hydrogen, he says it burns so hot and it is so fast that he loves the opportunity there. But that's an infrastructure problem, just like battery electric charging is an infrastructure problem. There's only a handful of hydrogen charge stations out there.